I recently posted a video discussing some of the issues I've had with the new M1 MacBooks. And after some more time with them, I wanted to share some updates on the issues that I've had and a few other thoughts. Hey, I'm Jerry, and there was a lot of feedback on my previous video, so let's just start with some of the updates on the issues that I saw with the M1 MacBooks and address some of the questions. Then I also want to talk about a few other observations I have after using the new MacBooks for the last few weeks. Starting with the display issues I saw, I found that if I connected my BenQ 32-inch monitor with HDMI using the Apple AV display adapter or the CalDigit Soho dock, everything worked fine. I was able to get full 4K resolution and 60Hz refresh rate. If I connected via DisplayPort or Thunderbolt using the dock, I was only able to get up to 30Hz refresh rate, which feels a bit laggy and slow when moving things around the screen. I ended up emailing BenQ support and sent feedback to Apple. BenQ did reply and let me know that they're seeing the same issue with the M1 MacBooks and they're looking into it. I wanted to know if I could get DisplayPort working at all because I wanted to use the CalDigit TS3 dock, so I bought a 32-inch Samsung monitor to try, and it does indeed work through DisplayPort at 60Hz. So it looks like there's some kind of display incompatibility between the M1 MacBooks and some displays, using either Thunderbolt or DisplayPort. But the M1s can display 60Hz and even higher depending on the display, according to some comments. There was also an issue I had where after coming back from lunch, the built-in display would not come back on. I tried to put the computer to sleep and wake it up, but I had to reboot to get it back. There were a couple of comments that suggested I was either making it up or I just had the screen brightness turned all the way down. Yeah, I can't think of a reason to lie about that either. But just to test that idea against what I did in the video, I turned the brightness all the way down and then pressed the power button to put it to sleep. Once the computer was asleep, I pressed the power button to wake it up and the built-in screen comes back on, proving that the display was not just simply turned off. I haven't seen that issue since that first happened, but others in the comments also suggested that this could be a macOS issue that affects other devices as well. Next, there was the performance issues I had with Final Cut Pro on both the Air M1 and the Pro M1. I downloaded Final Cut 10.5 to both of them the first day, which was updated for Apple Silicon, as you can see in the activity monitor. The MacBook Pro M1 had some slight performance delays while scrubbing and playing over cuts on the tracks. The Air M1 had more disastrous types of issues where the videos would just not play at all. Audio would cut out, and I needed to quit and reopen Final Cut to get it working. But as soon as I would drag another clip in or did anything really, it would just start acting up again. So I have a couple of theories about why the Air acted so terribly on that first day. It could be that the computer was still indexing and doing whatever new macOS installations do, causing slowdowns in the apps. Second, I had installed a lot of apps that day, copied a lot of large files to the MacBook Air, deleted them, duplicated files, did all kinds of stress tests for files on the Air. And even though I deleted all of the large files off, it's possible that there were still APFS snapshots taking up space, causing the very erratic behavior. Since it was late in the night or early morning, whatever, I moved the project to the iMac to complete. The next morning, I rebooted the Air and everything's been fine since. My demos of the issues on both machines was using Sony XAVC video from two cameras in a multi-cam clip, which means that both files actually play together at the same time when I hit play. This could have caused some of the more simple performance issues that we saw on the M1, and maybe part of the different results that I've seen compared to some other YouTubers testing single-track performance. I did get a lot of comments suggesting that I should be using optimized versions or proxies on the MacBook Air. And I can confirm that using proxies or the optimized clips, the performance is much better. If we go into this compound clip, you can see that we have all these clips together, and right now we are set to better quality and optimized original. If we switch to proxy, we can also see that we have no issues with playback at all. This thing just is buttery smooth using optimized versions or proxies. We can go back to optimized. And just like the proxies, it looks really good and really smooth. My only issue is creating the proxies or the optimized files. It can take a long time and take up a lot of space. If we look at one of the original clips, it was about 30.5 gigabytes. The optimized media version of it was 179 gigabytes, and the proxy version was 2.93 gigabytes. So the benefit of the optimized version is that it's going to work really well with color grading, but the proxies is going to be a lot smaller. And if you have a 256 gigabyte drive or SSD on your MacBook, there's no way that you could probably get by with using optimized versions. As for the app issues I had with crashing, there's been very little since I posted my last video. Final Cut and Photoshop are my two heaviest apps, besides any games that I might play, and I have maybe 1 or 2 Photoshop crashes since my last video, and none from Final Cut Pro. Rosetta 2 on the M1s is surprisingly fast, like stupid fast, almost unbelievably good at performing the translation on first run, and then just letting Intel-based apps run. Office apps, Skype, Zoom, Citrix, Remote Desktop, Creative Cloud, LastPass, Minecraft Java Edition. All of these apps just work, and I don't have to think about compatibility or them running slow. The only other app that caused any kind of issue was when I was trying to test out Fortnite, which was being translated through Rosetta 2. The app completely froze a few times, needing to force quit, but other than that, I was able to play very well on the MacBook Air. Well as somebody who doesn't play games anymore can play. Well, I even downloaded this app called Crossover, which is kind of like Wine, and it does Windows translations. It basically has Windows binaries that it translates Windows apps. So I downloaded Steam through Crossover, and we can actually run a game through Steam. So let's open this up. All right, it takes just a second for it to load. All right, so we are running the Windows version of Steam inside the MacBook Pro M1, and this works on the MacBook Air as well. And we'll just go ahead and go and open up Among Us, the PC version, and we can play it here on this MacBook. So we can go and play online. We'll find a game. Try this one. Here we go. So now we are inside the PC version of Among Us on Steam on a MacBook with M1. And if this game ever starts, we can run around the level. Shh. I guess I'm not the imposter this time. But there we go, and we're off, playing a Windows game through Steam on this MacBook with M1. And that's pretty amazing that it can do this, and it's running smooth. There's no issues, no delay, no lag. It doesn't look like it's dropping any frames. Now, of course, this isn't the highest end game, but I'm not even sure what to try for a high-end game, so if you have a suggestion, let me know below. So it's pretty incredible what these little things can do. The only thing that I found that they're not fast with is USB-C ports, and they're still not fast, any faster than they were a couple weeks ago when I tested. I'm getting much lower read speeds on my Samsung T7 SSD on the M1 MacBooks compared to the 2020 Intel MacBook Air and iMac. The battery life claims on the new MacBooks with M1 are not exaggerated. Whatever old laptop you have now is completely trash battery-wise compared to the M1s. This just rolled over, unfortunately, but what you would have seen here is that after I stopped working around 4 p.m. yesterday, the laptop did not go to sleep. I had applications running, and it stayed running all night until I got back on around 8 o'clock this morning, and I still had 10-15% battery left. If this is going to be a casual computer that you use on the couch or just for a couple hours a day, you could go a week, no problem, without charging these MacBooks. The other question I get a lot is, should I get an Air or a Pro? And I would say if you didn't need a $2,000 laptop to do what you did on a computer before, then you probably don't need the Pro. The Air can do everything that the Pro can do at the same speed, except in limited use cases. Even if you want to start running higher end applications, I think that additional RAM in the Air would be a more valuable upgrade than the fan in the Pro. The Pro does offer just a couple of benefits over the Air, like the 25% increased brightness, better speakers, a fan, up to 2 more hours of battery, a bigger and actually louder trackpad, and a touch bar if you think that's an upgrade. Although I've had a few issues with these new M1 MacBooks, overall my impression is, after a few weeks, they are worth the hype. Yeah, there may be a few bugs here and there, but it's a good bet that they're more related to macOS Big Sur than they are of the new hardware. Some of the issues that I've had with the new M1 MacBooks have not returned since they first happened, and some of them have been replicated by other users in the comments on both Intel-based and Apple Silicon-based Macs, using different versions of macOS. The fact that these machines work so well, even with non-native code, is kind of mind-blowing, to say the least. They just feel fast in everyday use of surfing the web, watching YouTube, creating scripts, playing casual games, taking work meetings, and almost anything I throw at it. In my experience, there's been virtually no performance difference between the MacBook Air M1 with 8 gigs of RAM and the 16GB Pro with M1 for normal use. The fan on the Pro is off 99% of the time, and I only ever hear it in my usage when creating proxies or optimized files in Final Cut Pro. Even exporting video, I usually do not hear the fan come on at all. And that means that these things stay cool whether they're on your lap or under your hands when typing. So performance-wise, these laptops are great for most consumers or users. New products may have a few growing pains here and there, and that's probably to be expected. But I do think that most, if not all, of these issues can be fixed with software updates. The most concerning issue that I've seen, in my opinion, is the display compatibility issue for those who want to use an external monitor. You may not be able to get the full benefits of your existing monitor with the new M1 MacBooks right away. Whether you wait a year to upgrade or you get one now, most of your experience will probably be trouble-free, and a huge upgrade in terms of power and battery life from whatever you're coming from. But hey, what do you think? Have you had issues with the new M1 Max, or has there been something over the last few weeks that's surprised you? Let us know below. If you want to see how these M1 MacBooks stack up against an early 2020 MacBook Air or a 2020 iMac, you should check out this video right over here. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.